Hi guys, welcome back to part 4, I think, of the book tour collection. This is all my adult colouring books, the collection that I have, and showing all my completed pages and my current work in progresses. So this is the remaining books on my first shelf of books. So I would say we're halfway there, but shelf 2 actually has a lot of thinner books, so there's a bit more on shelf 2 to go through. But yeah, these are my hardcover books, and then some of my A4 smaller books, the ones that will stand up vertically on my shelf anyway. So this completes the top part of my shelf. So yeah, we will start with the smaller hardcover books. Move all these ones out of the way, and we will start with my Maria Trolle. Trolle. I think it's Trolle. I am probably mispronouncing them. I really love her books, and I really want to get more of them because they're just so cute, and they're also really fun to work in, and I really enjoy them. So we'll start with Luna, which was my first Maria book. I mean, even the cover, it's just like, oh, perfect colours. So, I have done the little This Belongs To page, and I believe I just did these with Faber-Castell Classic Colour. I tend to use those when I'm not feeling well, either having a bad pain day or physically unwell, and in bed, because it's like quite portable, and I find her books are very easy for me to colour in bed as well. So she's one of my go-tos when I'm not feeling very well. And then we have this one here. So this was coloured with polychromos pencils and the Liquitex gold iridescent ink. It's really cute. I really like how it came out. That one was actually pretty recently. I coloured it in 2. And then, oh, the cover page. I do kind of want to reproduce the cover. I love this cover so much. So I probably will end up doing something like that. So the next one we have is this one here. So I used Distress inks in the background, Prismacolor pencils, and then a little bit of Posca and stickles, just for a little bit of shimmer. Again, this paper bleeds with Distress ink when you activate it, but that's okay because I figured with this one I might actually paint her on the outside of this black, and same with this frame in here as well, so it'll be covered. And then we have this little sweet bird. So this was done with Inktense pencils, a yellow Posca, not a white, and then I don't think that's stickles. I think that's actually the cheaper glitter glue, but done in a couple of layers. And then I believe I used a black Posca just to define the outside edge a little bit more. This paper isn't always the best for wet media, but I don't actually mind crinkle pages. I think it just adds to the book, and I love the crunch of paper when it's like crinkly from, I don't know, it just makes me happy. So I don't mind. And also, as this sits on my shelf, like it's already gotten flatter than when I first did it as well, so it's fine. I know some people are really pedantic about that, but not me. And then, there are a couple more in here. I thought so. So then we have this sweet little girl and the deer. So this one is Prismacolor and stickles once again, just on the flowers and in the center of her little flower crown. So cute. And I tried to do like a really blended background, so it could be like a field in mist as the sun was coming up in the morning, and it's like all misty and you can't quite see what's going on. That was sort of my idea for the background. And then the final one in here is our little purple cat. So this one I used Distress Inks and Kaisercraft Iridescent Spray on the background, Polychromos pencils on the details here, and then some homemade glitter glue with Mod Podge and glitter on the little moon gem of the collar and also the little dots of the collar, and then this little cat as well. And I believe that's everything in here. Oh no, I've got one more. And then we have this little one, which I think I just did with felt tips and some cheap pencils. I think I was just testing some felt tips out, so it's just like yeah, it's not really much. I probably should go over with some like actual pencils and add in some shading, and it would probably look alright. But yeah, that is Luna. And then we have Twilight Garden, which is the other one I've purchased from here. I really want to get more of hers. I really love them. I don't think I've done as much in here because this is a newer one. We do have this one here. The camera is going to struggle to pick this up. This has got Distress Inks on the background, and then the pencils are these ones here, which is like they're by a brand called Unity, but I am pretty sure that these are just a white label pencil because it doesn't even say Unity, it just literally says coloured pencil. But yeah, I just thought I'd try them. They were cheap. They're not bad, they're not great, but they did the job, you know. So yeah, it was just an experiment to try those pencils, and then I used a little bit of I think it's called Pearl Drops. It's like a 3D paint, but I tried to keep it very, very flat in the center of the flowers, and that's a little gold. But yeah, it's very, the camera struggles to pick up this because it's so like fluoro pink. And this one, the Distress Inks didn't really bleed through all that much, which is fantastic. And then we have this one here. This is Inktense pencils, and I was kind of experimenting a little bit with how I applied them and trying to create more of a watercolor effect. It didn't really work too well. I'm not in love with the effect of this page. Possibly if I go back in with some more pencils and like define certain areas, I might like it a bit more, but it also was an experiment, and you know, it's okay to experiment and try different things out sometimes. Sometimes they don't work. And then I know that there's one more in here because it was a time lapse. We have this one here. So this was actually recorded, which I used for my little introduction video when I was talking about coming back to YouTube. So there is actually a time lapse of me working on this one. It is Derwent Inktense pencils and then a little bit of Polychromos to define some shading. Surprisingly, no glitter, which maybe it needs some glitter. And I believe that's the last one in here. It is. So that was Twilight Garden. And now we'll move on to my Hanna Karlzon books. I have not worked on these as much as I should have. I really do like her work. I just haven't done a lot in here. So we'll start with Summer Nights. So this one here is Prismacolor for the actual little bug, Distress Ink around the bug and the name, and then there was some white gel pen, and then I used this really cheap silver glitter glue, but not only did it pick up and spread all the gel pen, when I touched it all the glitter was coming off. It's a terrible cheap glitter glue, so I had to go over the whole page with Mod Podge, really not got a Gotta learn not to call it Mod Podge. It's so easy. Mod Podge. I don't mind the spread. It kind of looks like the bugs in flight, so that's fine. And at least the seal stops all the glitter leaking. And then I have done these little mushrooms down here. I think I just used Distress inks and then a little bit of Prisma. Should probably go over it with like some white or something around the edges. It might make it pop a bit more. Probably do that as I finish off this page. The background is Inktense pencils, and that's all I've done. And it definitely needs some more pencil work because this is like very dark to very light. Definitely needs some blending out there. And I believe that is everything I have done in Daydreams. That is... no, Summer Nights, not Daydreams. Daydreams is the next one. So once again, I have not done a lot in here, if I've even done anything in here. Have I done anything in here? Ah, yes I have. And in one page. Well, it's double page spread. So yeah, I believe in this one it was like this patterned butterfly on this side, and then it was like draw your own designs. And rather than do that, I blacked out the background so that the text would be covered, and then I used Distress ink on this side with some gold glitter pen and just created sort of like a galaxy butterfly. And then on this side I kept the patterns and I used Reeves pastel, water soluble pastels in the background, and then went over it with various Posca marker, gel pen and glitter pens to define the different patterns. And yeah, it's okay. It's not my favourite, but I'm kind of pleased with how it came out, you know. Kind of feel like the background I need to go over it. I have a better black now for backgrounds that dries really, really matte. This is just acrylic paint and it's got a bit of a shine to it. But I've got now a really matte black, and I like using that for backgrounds because it just like recedes away, and then these pop out a lot more. So if I paint any black backgrounds, I tend to use that one now. So I kind of need to go over this and do that, and then pick up all the little areas where it's not quite coloured in properly either. But maybe one day. It was all the hardcover books, and now we're into the sort of A4 style books. I do have more sort of this size-ish book, but they don't really stand up on the shelves. So this is what is on the top shelf anyway. We're just splitting it like that. The rest of them are on the bottom shelf. They're thinner, they're kind of a more magazine style. So I classify them more with the magazines, and these ones are the books. So the first one is Tarot Colouring by Alexis E. Thomson. And I have not done much in here. In fact, I have a work in progress, which is the full. And in fact, by the time you are seeing this video, I will have finished this and put up the completed work through of this page on YouTube. So I will link to that playlist in the cards and down below for you, so you can go watch the entire process of this page. I am really loving how it's turning out. I just finished a gold today. Go away, what's that? I just finished a gold today, and I've just got left to colour in the card and do some cleanup details and deciding if I'm going to black out the border or not. Probably won't. But yeah, loving how this page has turned out, and I'm really excited to do more in this book. It's really, really stunning. Oh, I should have worked on this earlier. I don't know why it's been sitting on my shelf for years. Next one I have is Believe in Magic, and this one and the Tarot Colouring and the next two books are actually all produced by the same publisher, which is Lom Art, who also produces Kirby. So these probably something in why I like them so much. But Believe in Magic in particular is illustrated by Scully. Now this is an older book for me. and it has a few pages that I have done in here. So we have this one here, which I actually worked on during the hospitalization for my ankylosing spondylitis. So yeah, I set up there at hospital. I literally had this colouring book and I think it's a 24 pack of my, is it 24? No, it's 36 pencils of Albert Dürer is all I had to work with. So yeah, I did a couple of colouring pages when I was up in hospital trying to get better, and this was one of them, and I really love how it turned out. If I was at home, I would have probably put in some glitter, and now I would probably also add in some like white highlights on the crystal, but this is literally all I had in the hospital. I was in the hospital for almost 2 months, and one day I will tell that full story. But yeah, once I got a bit better and was able to start using my hands, I killed time by doing colouring. So this is one of my pages, and I love how it turned out. This has not been activated. The watercolour's not been activated. I did activate the background, go over it with white, activate the white, and then do another layer of white just to really dull out the moon. And part of me is also tempted to go in there and paint this black to really pop this out. But again, this was part of the journey, and I like it as is. I like the story and the reasons behind why I haven't done certain things. So yeah. And then we have this one here. It was also done in hospital using a bunch of these Papermate fine tip writing pen things, and those same Albert Dürer water soluble pencils. I don't love it, but I did the job, kept me entertained for a couple of days in hospital. And then we have this one here. Now this one, if I can figure out how to do it, I will add in a picture, because I coloured this one during a time when I couldn't really do much, and it was a pretty bad attempt. I used felt tips. I coloured in the leaves, but then on the leaves on the hand I just coloured over it with a felt tip. It was streaky, it was messy, didn't look great. And in the past, when that's happened, I've actually chucked out a book because I've been so upset by it. And I didn't come back to this book for a long time for this page and another page for how it originally looked. But I said, no, I'm going to sit down and make myself figure out a way to save this page because I like this book. And so I did. I ended up throwing water-soluble pencils, polychromos, Prismacolor, gold markers, white gel pens, watercolor. I think there's some ink in there. It's a lot of different media, but the page came together in the end. So if you have any pages that you've started and you absolutely hate and you think you can't save, don't throw out the book. Don't rip out the page, because in a few years your skills might develop and you can come back to the page and go, I know how to fix this. So yeah, I'm so glad I did, and I will make sure that I can put up the original image so you can see the comparison between the original and the finished. So this is another one that I did while I was in hospital. By this time I had worked out the little medicine cups that they gave me each day made excellent water holders for water soluble pencils. So this one is activated. And at this point someone had also brought me in a gold glitter pen, so I also had a glitter pen. So there's a little bit of gold glitter on the stars. It's not much, but I do really like the effect of this. Again, if this is me today, I would use some white gel pen, I would outline the smoke, I would probably put something in the background, and I would add some highlights on the glass so it was more shiny. Same with these. But it's the journey of what it was in hospital, and this is what I did. So I don't want to touch it because it's tribute to the horrifying time that was my 2-month hospital stay. And then seeing, because I think one of the, there it is. I knew the work in progress was in here. So then we have this one, and this is an example of some of my early colouring, where I used to colour by outlining an area with a felt tip and then going in with a pencil. So not great, but this is like early colouring. And then I don't even know what this gold marker is that's coloured in here. And then I have some pencil here that's not even very well blended, has gone over the lines. But I've left this as a work in progress page because I can see myself coming back and fixing this page and finishing it, and I do have ideas on how to work with what's here, and not much is done, so it's not too hard of a fix-up job. I've definitely done more from splatter pages or transfers and stuff like that. And then we have this symbol one here. This is almost mandala-like, though it's not really, it's more just a pattern. So this one I actually used alcohol markers for because it's single-sided in a can, and I think I just used 5 colours of alcohol marker, and then I made glitter glue using Mod Podge and loose glitters, which I colour matched to each one that I wanted to make a glitter for, and then applied using toothpicks and stuff. And it's just so fun to run your hands over because not everything is glittered, so it's real textural, and it's just like, it's really fun. And it's sparkly and shiny, and it's a fun page. I think that may be it for this one. It is. So the next two I have not worked in. So we have Astrology colouring by Jarén and Mystic Animals by Stratten Peterson. So I've not done anything in either of these. They both are very similar in vibes to the last two. Again, these are both Lom Publishing, and they have a very similar aesthetic, except this one is definitely newer paper and slightly different to this one and the other two. But they all have... Oh, come here. They all have very similar sort of vibes about what they're about and their styles, even though they're different artists. But yeah, I need to work in them, especially because I can use markers and stuff, because they're all single-sided, which I love. And then the final one, which I actually forgot I had until I pulled it out, is the Butterflies colouring book. And this is actually another one of my second-hand finds. And there are a few in here that have already been coloured. And I don't mind that, because either A, I'll use this for colouring with my niece, or B, I will use this for showing how to repair a page. Not that this person did anything wrong with their colouring. Like, this is actually really quite beautifully done. It's very smooth, just doesn't really have any definition or shadows, so you know. But yeah, like I said, I entirely forgot I had this book until I pulled it off the shelf and was like, oh yeah, I have that. So I suppose at some point I should do something with it. If anything, like I said, I'll pass it on to somebody who will enjoy it. I've got a number of people I can pass books on to. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this book tour and seeing some of my work in progress and completed pages. Please let me know down below which one is your favourite and which one would you like to see me do next. Is there a particular book you'd like to see more of? Or is there a specific page that you'd like me to do? If you'd like to have a closer look at any of these books, please let me know down below, and I will gladly do a proper book tour and flip through so you can have a closer look at any of the pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in part 5? Oh my goodness. Part 5, which Yeah, we're starting on the magazines, and that's going to be a big one. Bye.